Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Monday morning to you. I hope your day started off just fantastic. What a great day to be alive. Every day we walk with the Lord, of course, is a really good day. And it is a good day. And if you're a dog, it's an even better day because you might have a plastic corn dog that makes a lot of squeaky noises like my dog has, and he really wants to play with this morning. So if it starts squeaking, you know what's going on. Anyways, we're talking about Jesus, of course, like we always do. And today is our third installment, our third episode on becoming more like Jesus. And what we're going to talk about today is trials and temptations. And so I want to look at Matthew 3, Matthew 4, and Hebrews 2. So there's a lot there that we want to kind of get done in less than 4.5 minutes here. So here we go. So Matthew 3. Jesus is baptized. And so you've probably read this before. Matthew 3, 16 and 17. After his baptism, as Jesus came out of the water, the heavens were opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and setting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my dearly loved Son, who brings me great joy." Now, what's cool about this? Well, Jesus is baptized. That's cool. But that the Holy Spirit settles on him, and his Father in heaven says, "This is my Son who gives me great joy." And his Father in heaven calls Jesus his Son. He's the Son of God. So we see the Trinity all at once. We see Jesus as being fully God as part of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now we move over to chapter 4. So right after this, chapter 4, and the first verse I find really quite interesting. It says this. So Hebrews 4, chapter 4, verse 1. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted there by the devil. So Jesus is led into the wilderness by the Holy Spirit for the purpose of being tempted by the devil. Now, why would God do that? Why would God lead Jesus into the desert for the purpose of trial and testing? That doesn't make a lot of logical sense in our mind. You would think the Holy Spirit would protect him and cover him and all sorts of things, but instead brings him into the desert. And so after 40 days, Jesus is in a weakened state, and the devil comes and tries to tempt him with 3 temptations. You can read that yourself afterwards. It's actually pretty important, so please do that. Well, now, so why? What is the purpose behind this? Well, there's a lot of reasons why Jesus did this, but one I want to focus on this morning is so that we could know Jesus as being fully human. You can't tempt God. You can't really test God. You're just going to pass it all the time because he's God. So it only makes sense that you would try to tempt or test a human. Jesus is fully human, and Jesus passed that test. He aced the test. Jesus was able to do that, but he was fully human in doing this. And so in Hebrews 2, 16 18, it spells it out more for us. It says this. We also know that the Son did not come to help angels. He came to help the descendants of Abraham. Therefore, it was necessary for him to be made in every respect like us, to be made in human form. So he's fully man. Like us, his brothers and sisters, so that he could be our merciful and faithful high priest before God. So he could stand before God for us. Before God. Then he could offer a sacrifice that would take away the sins of the people. Because Jesus was fully human, but he didn't succumb to any temptation or trial, he could be the sacrifice for you and for me, which is pretty awesome. That's what he did on the cross. So that's the first part that we're talking about in this. We're going to talk about more of this later on this week, but that's pretty cool all in itself. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.